Malawi, as you know, is an agro-based economy where more than 80% of the population, they are smallholder farmers who rely on rain-fed agriculture. So traditionally, people know that from October the rains come, and the time frame for the rainfall maybe would be 4 months. But over the years, we've seen that the rains have been very erratic. Farmers are not sure when the rains will start, either in October, either in December. So it has become one of the threats to the economy. So apart from smallholder farming, we have seen a lot of impacts to the other sectors of the economy, like energy, like transport, infrastructure. As I'm talking now, 230,000 people have been confirmed to be in camps because we've had heavy flooding. So we have seen the vulnerability growing with time in Malawi. Previously, maybe the floods could start in February, but as early as January. So uncertainty is a big issue, and it's a big threat to the economy. So those are some of the highlights I could give about the impacts of climate change in Malawi.
And what's your project doing to address these impacts?
There are a number of interventions which this project is doing, but it's not a standalone project because there have been a number of interventions before. It's focusing much on 2 key areas. One, climate information. We have seen that I think there is now a need for climate information. As I said, traditionally there was consistent rainfall patterns in the country, but now the need for rainfall information, climate information, maybe accurate forecasting has become a key issue. So this project, as part of the issues, is trying to provide information to farmers. It has initiated climate information centers in some selected districts. It has helped a number of institutions that are generating climate information to digitize the information, some of which is still in crude forms. So those are some of the key highlighted areas I can do. But also at national level, because planning for climate change, climate change is not a sector like transport. It's not a sector like health. It's not a sector like education. There was need to translate climate change into planning. What is the niche of energy sector in climate change? What is the niche of maybe the transport sector? What is the niche of the agriculture sector? So part of the issues, the key areas which the project has done is to formulate the climate change investment plan, which has been finalized, but which lacked a monitoring and evaluation framework. So what it's doing now is basically to guide sectors to say, okay, for this particular sector, this is your entry point on climate change. This is what you can do. And we hope that as the Malawi Growth and Development Strategy, which is like a key development instrument, which is phasing out in 2015, this year, but a success is being planned for. So the next development agenda of the country will have elements of climate change, which will also be part of the budgetary reports. So it's going to be sustainable. It's going to have a big impact at planet level.
In addressing these impacts, what is the biggest challenge so far?
Specific to this project, the key challenge which we've had is that as the project was starting up, the understanding was that this is going to be a project to be under direct implementation modality. We experienced a lot of maybe business processes being not attractive to partners. So from June 2013 to late last year, we noted that there were a lot of delays and the project did not deliver much as we had experienced. But we had an agreement then with guidance from the Regional Bureau of Africa to say, okay, you can have a rate of agreement with government, and we've started advancing to partners. So our target is that the remaining months of the project we should have the intended results, and which we hope we will deliver on. So that has been the major challenge so far.
And what is the biggest accomplishment so far?
I think the biggest accomplishment, looking at the history of Malawi, since 1994 when it ratified the Convention on Climate Change, it never had homegrown projects. It never had a consolidated planning tool on all aspects of climate change apart from the NAPA. So the investment plan has got programs on adaptation, mitigation, capacity building, and research development and transfer. So this for the first time the country is prepared, and hope that this project is just a good start for the country to make sure that climate change is mainstreamed in planning both at national and at the district level. So this I could highlight as one of the key issues.
What did you learn from exchanging with other countries during this workshop?
This workshop has been very remarkable. I've learned quite a lot. I could highlight a number of examples. For example, I've noted that we have a lot of similar projects with Tanzania. which is our neighbor. We didn't know what was happening in the other country, and apparently they advanced in other areas. So some of the areas we've learned is that migration from the handout type of approach to projects to investment projects, whereby the community can contribute to some of the projects. I think that's one area I can highlight as which is quite good, which is worth emulating. Another area which I liked quite a lot was the presentation from UNCDF. I also noted that Malawi has got some new projects in the pipeline which are linked to some work which has happened in Bhutan, in Nepal. So sharing of information has been quite good. We plan to climate-proof development work in Malawi. We have the Local Development Fund, which has a formula that the Minister of Local Government tries to use to allocate funds to districts. So one of the criteria which we want is to adjust some of those guidelines so that they're able to put climate change indicators, so that whatever is happening, we'll learn from what has been happening in the UNCDF work. So I think we've learned quite a lot, and we've had some contacts as well, which we hope we'll use as we start implementing the project.
Thanks for your time, Malawi.
You're welcome.